Hello,
Well, hello there.
Macho Man.
Oh, am I wearing merchandise from the winery of today?
Casa Rojo.
It's really warm. Yes, it's my little Casa Rojo. Isn't that cute?
Oh my God.
There's the Macho Man, which some of you may know. Anyway, hello.
And I'm so proud of this pandemic.
It's so great. Without pandemics, we wouldn't have this merchandise.
Yeah. Well, so welcome everybody. Today is the last day of the September box.
So emotional.
I'm super proud of these first 6 tastings and super excited for the next ones.
Yeah, the next box is absurd.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, the next October box is really good. And actually we are already planning November box.
November 2022.
And I have one for December box.
Of course you do. Is it champagne?
No, it's not.
Oh,
No, it's
that's
not.
Spanish, isn't it? But yeah, so obviously, hello to people.
Yes.
Hey, Casa Rojo just said, woo, fantastic. So Casa Rojo is in the house.
Well, someone has cut his hair and it's not me.
I love having a quarantine time haircut. Everyone's in masks, and they have.
You look like a psychopath cat last time.
Oh, last time, yeah. Now I look almost young and happy and fresh. Who have we got? Fran's here. Yes, Fran. So just to let you people who are watching know, these are people from the winery. So if you have any questions, you can ask them as well.
Yeah.
My dad was half an hour early with his hello. Well done, Dad. All out at 9 o'clock.
Hello, everybody. Well, what are we drinking today?
It's a white sweet wine from Peru.
Yeah.
No,
Today we are drinking Las Viñas Bastardas.
bastard vines. Look at that.
To this, when did we introduce, make the presentation here in the shop of Las Viñas Bastardas? What's this year?
Was it like in February?
2020. Yes, it was.
The good old days.
The good old days. So is
yeah.
there like one the last or one of the last projects of this?
Fran was
winery?
here, wasn't he? Was it Fran?
Fran, yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Fran.
And it was it is one of the last projects of this wonderful winery. We are linked to this winery since emotionally since the very beginning of our shop. Their wines is actually one of the first wines we demanded for the shop. We wanted to have all of them because we love the way they work, and they love their projects, their wines, their results, the marketing. But we are going to talk about.
And also, I think another thing it started. We'll talk about this wine and the different zones, but I think the project, what is interesting for you as well and me, is it's basically your tierra, it's your platform.
Yeah.
So it's also quite proud for you.
Actually, I discovered them there, and I fell in love immediately with the winery. These guys are located in Jumilla, is where Casa Rojo is. They have been part of the DO Jumilla, although they have plans now to, expand. And also they have been working all over Spain.
Yeah.
They have had projects all over Spain, which make their wine, even more interesting.
Again, we'll go into detail about this because there's so much to talk about. Some of you lucky alcoholics out there, may remember we did a Sauvignon Blanc, I think it was, during the quarantine on our Instagram live. And we had Jose live streaming in from the vineyard. He was like, hello, we're in Derrico, out in the countryside. But anyway, we have to repeat them. This is the one we're drinking. Las Viñas Bastardas from Casa Rojo. Now, as always, we will do a bit of housekeeping first, and then we will do our cata before we, go into the depths and information about who is the right winery, what is their projects, what's the grape. And then, of course, we may be lucky to have a little video. Maybe, if you're lucky, we have a video. And then we'll talk about the grapes and stuff. But just one more thing before we carry on. This is the last tasting of the September box, which means after we finish this, we're going to do the sorteo. We're going to do the lottery.
Yes.
And pick the winner of our competition. And then when we start the next box we'll be like, and the winner is me.
So this is your last chance to get into the contest.
And what do they have to do?
Just take a picture of the bottle.
Just the bottle, nothing else.
And mention that. Well, if you want to add anything else, it's fine.
Keep it family friendly. Or not.
Or not.
Whatever Instagram lets you have. Sensitive content, press.
Well, in case if you want to add any salty thing, send a direct message to the shop.
And then next week, Roque and I will put all the names in a proverbial hat and take out the winner.
Well, it's going to be more... I think more professional.
Why? I think we should use a hat. It's like a garden party in a church in England. John Smith has won the shampoo. Anyway,
but it's gonna be exciting. So please send your pictures, upload your pictures, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. Mention the shop. Mention at Madrid Daracot. Normally we have the same name in all the social networks, and a picture of Las Viñas Bastardas. Oh.
So where's our tasting sheet? This is usually you going, shut up, Luke. So we're going to do our homework before we even talk about anything. We're going to go in blind and do our tasting as usual.
Everybody who has bought the box have 6 of these papers
we should send it
following. Yes, for following the tastings with us. So let's talk about Las Viñas Bastardas. It's a wine this year. It's going to be the first year, right?
This is 2017. I don't remember.
Okay, 2019.
18, that's 18.
18.
2 years, because it's got a year in the box.
18. And this is
professional.
It's a blend. It's a quite unexpected blend for the region.
Yeah. So some of you, especially people who live here, may know that one of our favourite grapes and the superstar grape of Jumilla is Monastrell. Ooh. Big, sexy.
Yes.
But these guys have 2 others in there, which are less common. Some Tempranillo. Okay, it's Spanish.
Yeah, it's not very popular, Tempranillo.
No. And a bit more like what? Some Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yes.
In Jumilla.
Yeah.
What the hell? Again, we'll talk about that later. But this is not your normal Monastrell.
Yeah.
Basically. Right.
Although, beware, this is not a Jumilla wine. Look for the Jumilla logo. You will not find it.
No, yes.
Yeah.
So normally, let me show them.
It's super close. The wine, the vineyard is located super close to the Jumilla DO, but it's not linked.
So that's what you'd normally see.
Yeah.
And this is where the winery is. However, if you turn your bottles round, you'll see nothing, nada.
Yeah. No logo.
No logo.
DO.
Hashtag no logo.
Yeah. So that is the reason is not in the Jumilla DO, because the piece of land where these grapes grow up is not inside the DO.
It's like 10 meters away.
It's something like that.
It's like, this is the limit. Yeah. No.
So the producer is Casa Rojo. That is, as we said before, is a classic winery there in Jumilla region. Well, the alcohol content.
Not very high. I think it's like 14, 13 and a half. Yeah.
13 and a half.
Not a big boozy beast, which surprised me given the climate. But then this is, I think, quite high up.
Yeah, normally Jumilla wines tend to be too much.
It's like, do you like being punched in the face by blackcurrants?
What is the actual trend in worldwide about the alcohol content?
It's disappointing for me. So a lot of red wines now, speaking of red wines, they're tending towards being fresher, maybe lighter, a bit less alcoholic, more elegant. You could argue maybe a bit more afrancesado, a bit more Frenchy.
Yeah.
Which is fine to have some, but you know me, I like...
But is that what the market is asking for?
Yeah. Well, it depends which market, but the modern drinker... See, I don't know. I don't think it is. As in, okay, maybe the Spanish market is. I don't know. But I would say, if we get people... In the good old days of tourism... Do you remember tourism? When we had some... my name's Gary from Idaho. Okay. What would you like, Gary from Idaho? I want a red wine from Spain. And then you say, do you want a light red wine or a big, sexy red wine? And they always go, I want a big and heavy. So I think it depends on the market. So the worldwide market, I don't know, but it seems to be there's a slight trend towards making them... I think one thing that is true is use of oak is fine, but not too much oak. Yeah. That's the key. Maybe alcohol, less, higher, whatever. But like a lot of the Ribera del Duero producers are like, well, see, you're going to notice that the oak is really well integrated, and you're going, where is the oak? You know, so maybe it's just everything a bit more delicate.
Yeah, well, so as we said before, Casa Rojo is the story behind Casa Rojo is quite exciting. It
So
comes
romantic.
from Laura, who comes from a wine family.
I mean, Laura's a good drunk like we are. It's good.
And
She's legitimized it at an early age.
she meets her husband in
My favorite country, in Japan.
Jose Luis in Japan, in Tokyo, right?
I think
They met in Tokyo.
she was working. Now, this is. If they're watching this, they're probably thinking, how do they know this? But she was working in an area called.
We do our job.
Oh, we do our research.
And we read interviews published in papers.
And we have cameras in your house. She worked in an area called Roppongi, which is there's lots of kind of modern bars, and they met like in this kind of area, and it was like love at first sight. I mean, they're both horribly attractive.
They left their job for creating a company there in Japan for helping
Getting
people
Spanish
to
integrated into Japan and stuff.
But the tsunami
Washed them home.
yes, brought them back to Murcia, and then they began the project of Casa Rojo.
It's quite cool. So, and Rojo is like her family name. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Which I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I was always wondering, like, why is it called the Red House? Yeah. But it's the name thing. So it's just kind of it's quite an idyllic story. It's just quite sweet, you know.
Well, their projects in Murcia. Well, these are an example of the things they do. This is the Minami. Minami is the
one on the left, that blue
the
one.
Syrah, the super
sexy big beast. That's my favorite wine of them. It's not the cheapest wine, but it's my favorite wine.
Yeah. Well, the new MMM, the Macho Man Monastrell, that I think,
which is the one I have the mask for.
Yeah, but no, I think it now is called MMM.
Yeah, I think it's just MMM.
Yeah.
So, because when you drink it, you go.
That's their Monastrell, and Enemigo Mio, their Garnacha.
Which I think the award.
Super dangerously easy to drink.
And the
Garnacha.
award for the funniest marketing. Tell them why it's got that picture.
Well, if I'm not wrong, it's the white boars. They love Garnacha over any other kind of grapes in the area.
Sweet, yeah.
So that's why the wild boars are their enemies, enemigo mio, and they hate them.
It's like my enemy. Yeah, that's great.
Haru, which means spring
in Japanese.
In Japanese, yeah, and it's their rosé, and here it is.
And Minami is also a Japanese word. So there's a little Japanese link, which for a Japanese geek like me is like, oh my god, it's so great. Right.
So let's go for
our tasting menus.
Yes.
Color intensity.
Wow.
It's got that beautiful Monastrell purple there, basically. Yeah. Not too dark, so it's not super intense. It's kind of medium. You can see your hands through it, but it's not. You know.
I always recommend you if you want to check the color properly at home, use a light surface. It can be a piece of paper or whatever, and then look up.
Look down.
Look down.
Don't look up.
No, don't look up.
Wow.
Sorry. In the upper side.
Yeah, so you're kind of trying to
look down,
generally towards the rim, but straight down.
Okay.
The number of times I see people going with like, oh yeah, it's great. Like you won't see anything. Like just it's black.
So choose a light surface and look down. Always pay attention to the edge. That's probably is where you can check better the color.
Yeah, because most wines will be just dark.
And it gives you also the information about the age. For example, the bluer.
What color will it be if it's a really old red wine?
Ooh, it will be more brownish.
Yeah.
So if it's a very, very old one, it will, the pigments die and they leave a nice brown color as if it were whiskey or brandy.
A nice bit of crap at the bottom.
But if it's young, it will be more bluer.
Kind of pinky blue, and it's also more vibrant.
Yeah.
More kind of full and vibrant.
In this case, this is 6 months in barrel,
this
right?
is, I guess, for those of you who live here, you may know the term roble, because it's called a roble wine. But it's not on the label, because I think with what they're doing with this, they can basically put what they want on the label. But yeah, and it's lovely, full clarity, nice and clean, beautiful colour.
Yeah, clarity clear as your soul. No, it's
that's
not.
That's
not.
the opposite of clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, everyone, get your noses in. And those of you who are watching with
Stick
this
your
wine,
nose inside your glasses.
and if you are watching with this, please write in the live chat what you can smell. It smells of red wine.
It's aromatic.
That's me, I think. What I like about this wine is it's delicately spicy. Because often these red wines from, especially if they're Monastrell, they can be a big punch, sometimes quite funky. So Monastrell, quick thing, can be often a little reductive. So it has a kind of like a, almost maybe a sulfuric.
What do we mean with the spicy? Because the spicy can mean several things.
Smells like a Thai green curry.
Spicy can be you in a naked beach. That is spicy.
It's scandalous. Because I would be
whoa.
wondering why I'm there.
Oh.
Spicy. I usually, there's two types of spice. There's like peppery spice for me. Maybe you get like peppery notes, black pepper, white pepper, these kind of things. And when I say spice, I mean things like clove, sort of baking spices as well. But there's all kinds of spice. It's kind of similar but different to like mineralic, whatever. But yeah, I use things like, exactly, the dog's agreeing on me. These kind of subtle spices, basically. And also with Monastrell, it's kind of famously floral. Not so much, it's not too flowery in this one.
Red fruit, blackberry, blueberry.
I get like lavender or violets or something, you know. Matthias, is this really actually at all spicy or Spanish spicy? Yeah, Spanish spicy, not hot, basically. We have a question from Matthias as well. Is this because Gary from Idaho knows what he wants, or because he wants what he wants? He wants what he wants.
Yes.
Herbs, yeah, Ava, I agree.
Yes.
Things like, you know,
mountain herbs.
Thyme and tomillo and rosemary and
what I learned from Casa Rojo in their project of Ribera del Duero, Alexander. They used to plant this rosemary and lavender next to the vineyards just for those aromas to stick in the skins of the grapes. Oh,
I mean, there might be a touch of poetry there.
Well, but it's good poetry anyway.
I have my vineyards next to a steakhouse, and weirdly, my rueda smells of chuletón.
Next to a cow factory.
A manure. Yes. But anyway, and it's a nice clean nose. I would say this is like medium plus intensity of the aroma. It's aromatic. It's not too strong. It's very it's quite elegant in that sense. So if you've got the word there, intensity of aroma, I would put like a 3.5. It's not too strong. It's really lovely. Very delicate. It's kind of elegant, I guess is the word, which is one of these fluffy words. Oh, it's elegant, but I think it's quite an elegant nose. Yeah. And it's not too alcoholic, so it doesn't burn your nose. And complexity. It's not super complex because it's fairly young. But for a Roble, I think it's got quite a lot going on.
It's very interesting.
What I don't notice, and maybe that is the herbs, but the Cabernet Sauvignon is very delicate. What I don't know, and maybe if they're still watching, maybe they've fallen asleep, but if Fran or the Casa Rojo team, anyone is watching, because I couldn't find it, the percentages.
Oh yeah.
Monastrell, Tempranillo,
which is...
Because I don't know what it is.
Which grape is...
I think Monastrell is the predominant one. But it'd be interesting if they're there. If they're not, don't worry. But it'd be nice to know the individual percentages, you know. Yeah. Can we drink the damn thing?
Yes, let's drink it.
Salud.
Salud.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, everybody.
What I like is it follows through with those savoury herbs and the spice in the palate.
It's pleasant.
It's really pleasant. It's very smooth. But it's very foody. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I can see this going really well with food.
Yeah. Do you know how to taste, how to measure the acidity of a wine?
Are we going to do this every time?
We should do it.
Okay. So, those of you who are watching for the first time and are in a happy marriage, if your relationship is doing this, maybe don't do this test. What you're going to do is we're all...
Well, it's a little bit gross. You will love it anyway.
Yeah. So everyone pay attention. Do not drink right now. We're all going to have a sip of wine. You're going to rinse it around your mouth. Never do this on a date. Swish it around. And you are going to swallow the wine. And then mouth wide open. Head down for a few seconds and just tell what happens. What happened? Oh no, you okay?
I'm drooling.
No. Like a priest. No, it's not. So, forgot we're on
YouTube is watching.
Oh God. This will be like sensitive content. Please be above 18 to watch this video. You should salivate.
Yeah.
So with more acidity or the lower pH, the more you go down there.
Exactly.
Can you still feel it? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. These guys. Bertin really wants it. Yeah. Listen. These guys plant quite high up. This particular one, and the higher up you are, or the cooler the climate, the more acidity is maintained. It's worth noting, because acidity is one of those aspects of the wine world that people get a bit confused about. They're like, but how do they add acidity?
Yeah.
No, it's the opposite. Every grape starts off super acidic, and as it ripens, the sugar level goes up, and the comparative acidity will go down. So if you're having a cooler climate or a cooler area in a hotter climate, they will have a bit more acidity and will be a bit fresher.
That acidity helps the taste of the wine to be longer, right?
Yeah, kind of. I think because it stimulates. Come on, it stimulates your salivary.
Stimulate is one of the forbidden words.
Yeah, there's a guy in California going, "This tasting is like red light, red light, red light, red light." Something about Japan and some weird club? No, okay. Just leave that in there.
So,
but that's how you taste a wine for the acidity, and then the dryness, which this is not too heavy. The dryness that happens when you do that, that's the tannins, all these things.
So the perfect wine for taking out a little bit of meat. You have.
Well, yeah. Let's have a look. Maridaje pairing.
Yes.
I always find Murcia a strange region. In general, well, no, the people are awful. I mean, just awful people.
Mind your words.
The Jumilla red light's going off in the YouTube place. Because you are every food I've had there has been really good, but you're not really that famous. You know what I mean? There are other regions of Spain which.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to tell me?
I'm actually complimenting you. If you listen, Valencia has all the fame, but Murcia has the best rice.
I don't think I like you.
Don't confirm that with the bar.
I don't think they hear the dog.
No. If you can't hear the dog, we look insane right now. But Murcia, like, for example, you said meat.
Yeah.
What is Murcian meat?
I mean, we have excellent embutidos there.
But like meat.
Charcuterie.
But like
so,
meat.
and
because more, I think like
but it's not a land of big animals like cows,
like elephants, giraffes. It's not those kind of things.
I mean, no cows, no horses, no.
I have seen near your parents' house flocks and flocks of goats eating melons. And that was a visualization I will never forget.
They were not goats; they were sheep.
Well, my parents are scientists. And I can't tell the difference between a goat and a sheep. All I know, it was a very surreal sight. It was like a motorway, this horrible dead field covered in rotting melons, and all these sheep going.
That means ecological. Look,
that means that
they are eating and fertilizing at the same time,
and you know that the land will taste of melons.
Or
something else. Serving temperature. Oh, Ben, I want this with melanzane alla parmigiana.
Oh, yeah, that would work.
Stop it, Ben.
I love that dish, but it's not Murcian.
No.
Almost Murcian.
Berenjena con queso. Berenjena gratinada.
It would be like, ¿cómo se llama esto? Una lasaña de berenjena.
Yeah. Wow, I see. Mal says he confirms they can hear the dog. Serving temperature, we always say this, but
Chato Murciano. That's how we call the pork. We are specialists in pork.
Do you guys make jamon?
Man,
but it's very iberico.
No, of course, but I mean,
I
we are specialists in the cerdo blanco. Yeah. Have you ever heard about el pozo?
Yeah, I was about to say, I know El Pozo because I eat that ham all the time.
Yeah, that's Murcia.
Well, real high quality stuff.
Oh.
So, serving temperature, like most red wines, but I would say this one, because it's not too heavy, you could leave this half an hour in the fridge and it'd be quite fresh.
Yeah.
Maybe in the warmer months.
Yeah, 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
And the price, I think it's 13 something?
Yeah.
Not too expensive, it's a good price.
Yeah.
And there was a suggested glass, and a big swirly glass.
Exactly.
Now.
So, what do you think if we...
This is such a cheesy setup. Well, where's the video? Where's the video? I want to see what Macho Man looks like.
Then you don't need to watch anything. You just have me.
I said Macho Man.
I'm a macho man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roll the VT.
Here we are. So let's see the explanation by the words of the master.
Hola, buenas tardes, amigos de Madrid, Darracot, amantes del vino. Roque y Luke me han pedido que os haga un pequeño vídeo para explicaros, para hablaros y bueno, pues presentaros uno de los vinos que elaboramos en Casa Rojo, en este caso Las Viñas Bastardas. Así que bueno, pues me gustaría que en un par de minutos, en este día tan maravilloso que tenemos aquí, desde el Valle de la Raja, desde Casa Rojo, pues me gustaría pues un poco explicaros algo sobre este vino. Bueno, como sabéis, el principal varietal que tenemos aquí en el Valle de la Raja, el principal varietal, la principal uva con la que trabajamos es la Monastrell, y este vino no es una excepción. Este vino está elaborado principalmente de Monastrell, aunque también tiene un pequeño ensamblaje de Tempranillo y de Cabernet Sauvignon. La gran diferencia, sabéis que elaboramos también el principal vino, el vino más icónico de Casa Rojo, MMM. Sabéis que está elaborado también de la misma uva, de Monastrell. La principal diferencia, por lo menos desde el punto de vista conceptual, es que aquí hablamos de un vino de una parcela única. Es decir que, bueno, pues lo que viene a llamarse en algunos sitios un vino de pago, un vino que procede de una sola parcela. La historia es muy curiosa porque el motivo por el cual tiene Cabernet Sauvignon y Tempranillo es porque el Vitorino, que es el propietario de la parcela y que es la persona con la que hemos trabajado en el desarrollo de este proyecto, fijaros qué cierre más maravilloso del corcho. Vitorino es es tercera generación de agricultores y su abuelo marchó a Francia para vendimiar. Y allí en Francia cogían sarmientos de Cabernet Sauvignon que luego injertaban aquí en la Monastrell. Lo mismo le pasaba cuando iba a Albacete o cuando iba a La Rioja, se traían sarmientos de Tempranillo. Entonces, bueno, encontramos la curiosidad de que en la parcela, que en principio está dada de alta todo como Monastrell, pues había algunas cepas de Cabernet Sauvignon y de Tempranillo, que le vienen muy bien a la Monastrell, pues para fijar el color, para darle también bueno, pues si la Monastrell tiene sobre todo frutas rojas y compotadas, la Cabernet Sauvignon y la Tempranillo pues nos va a dar esas notas de frutas más negras, más maduras, etc. Bueno, una de las ventajas que tenemos en esta parcela es la altitud. La parcela está situada en la falda de la Sierra de la Pila, que es justo la que está aquí a mis espaldas, y el motivo del nombre, Las Viñas Bastardas, es porque esta parcela está justo en el límite, pero por fuera, de la denominación de origen Jumilla, y por lo tanto queda fuera no está acogido, estas uvas no están acogidas a esta denominación de origen, pero por 10 metros. Y bueno, pues esa circunstancia hizo que Vitorino le llamase Las Viñas Bastardas, porque la uva tenía que llevarla a la cooperativa como uva de mesa. Sin embargo, es una parcela fantástica con viñas de 70 años aproximadamente, y bueno, pues el resultado es un vino muy particular, es un vino único, muy distinto a cualquier otra Monastrell que podáis probar. En boca, como decía antes, pues destacan mucho las notas de frutos rojos, pero también tenemos fruta negra, también tenemos mora, tenemos cerezas muy maduras, ciruelas, muy interesante en nariz, perdón. Empiezan a surgir también los aromas a regaliz, torrefactos muy interesantes, cueros finos. Y en boca pues tenemos un vino muy agradable, con un paso largo, excelente frescura por esa altitud que os decía antes. Estamos hablando de 800 metros por encima del nivel del mar. Una frescura muy interesante que nos hace salivar. Y bueno, en definitiva, creo que es un vino muy divertido y del que estoy seguro que vais a disfrutar muchísimo, sobre todo de la mano de Madrid y de Arracot. Un saludo a todos desde Humilla, desde Murcia, desde el altiplano de nuestra región. Nos vemos pronto en Madrid. Chao.
Look, Darragod.
Sorry, I was working. Now, what an amazing man.
Yes.
He's a lot of man.
Thank you very much, Jose Luis. We love you.
And what a beautiful place. I always feel like when you're like a slightly.
I wish we could go there. I wish we
had a potential plan to go there.
Yes.
Stay tuned. You are like a slightly. You're like a budget version of Jose Luis. You're kind of like he's like the Corte Inglés, and you're like the Carrefour version. Anyway, so I was just like, they look quite similar.
Well, you haven't seen me naked.
Yeah, you're the Dia Express version. Sorry. So just a quick thing for the people who are watching and have no idea what he was saying, because some of you maybe don't speak Spanish. We won't talk about the cata, the tasting part. But the really interesting thing is that there's a guy called Torino who owns a plot of land. This is like from one single plot, which had these three varieties, because his grandfather, when he was traveling in France, brought back Cabernet Sauvignon and put them there in the field. When he was in Albacete, which is a part of La Mancha, or in Rioja, maybe brought back some Tempranillos. So basically, the granddad of Torino, who owns the place, created this viñedo, this cocktail of a field, which is physically outside of the Denominación de Origen Murcia. More on that in a moment. And that's why it's called Viñas Bastardas, because he was like, sí, son Viñas Bastardas. They don't belong to anyone. And that's why they had this project, basically.
Yeah. Well, actually, it happens with all vineyards.
Mal Murphy says, or the Ryanair version. Yeah, Jose Luis is British Airways, you're Ryanair. They're both airlines, but they're not the same. Sorry.
Well, that happens with very old vineyards. The old people, not into the wine business as we are today, they were not very strict planting their vineyards, and sometimes they had 2 Tempranillo, 4 Garnachas, 1 Tempranillo, 3 Cabernet Sauvignon in the same line of vines. So for that reason, sometimes to make the harvest in these vineyards is a pain.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, because you have to, harvest this vine and then leave 2 without harvest.
And imagine if you have 3 different red wines, they all look the same.
Well, I hope they recognize the plants.
So the question is, we can.
It's not easy to recognize the plants.
Let's do a little test. I'm going to close my eyes.
Okay.
Because we have photos of all, and I want you put one of the photos, and I'll try and guess the grape.
Okay. Well, this is one of the grapes.
Can I look here?
Yeah.
Tempranillo?
No, that's the Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay. One fail. Go again.
Okay. Here we are. What is this?
Monastrell.
Yeah,
Yes!
that's the Monastrell.
I got one.
Well, the other one.
Obviously Monastrell. And then
But let's see the Tempranillo. No, sorry. Let's see the what do you have in? Oh, this is the Tempranillo. This is Tempranillo.
Yeah, I knew.
Can you make the difference?
I knew that. They all look the same.
Could you recognize? Well, this happens in a lot of old vineyards that the old people, they mix it.
And traditionally, then you would make a field blend, which is just.
It's easier to make the coupage already at the beginning.
Oh, this is a blend of 16 grapes.
Exactly. So, well, let's talk a little bit about the region.
Yeah, because this is a really important region, but they're not in the region. So let's quickly mention Jumilla, because this is where it all started.
Well, yeah, it's not a Jumilla wine, but we are going to talk a little bit about Jumilla, because Jumilla is a very important wine region.
And physically it's in...
It gets the name from the town Jumilla, which is located in the Murcia province, but it happens...
Is it beautiful?
Jumilla, yes, it has its lights and shadows.
Which means there is a church there, and that's about it, probably.
Well, there are dinosaurs' steps, fossils.
Yeah, like fossilized
footprints.
That's cool.
Yeah, you would love that.
That sounds cool, yeah.
Yeah. Well, but actually, although it takes the name from Murcia, it has more square meters in Albacete than in Murcia.
Which is La Mancha for you.
Yeah, and a little bit of Alicante. Yeah, but well, it's of course it mixes the. Of course, it has a very Mediterranean influence, but it mixes a little bit of the continental because the altitude is quite high. These vineyards are 800 meters.
And it's very hot and dry. It's humid, but it's dry, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
The air is humid, but it's not rainful.
If it were closer to the coastline, it would be more humid. But it's just, I would say 1 hour and a half to the coastline.
You live there.
By car, 1 hour? 1 hour and a half, more or less. Yeah, I could say that.
Which is still very much near the sea.
Yeah, it's close to the sea, but it's dry. It's continental side.
Yeah.
Well, the grapes allowed here in this region. The main one, the most important and emblematic, is Monastrell. But you have Garnacha Tintorera, Tempranillo, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, also Petit Verdot, and Syrah.
Petit Verdot.
And Syrah.
Well, the Minami is...
Yeah,
so
it's a 100%.
Both Minami and this, if they wanted to be, could be Jumilla.
Yes.
But, as we'll talk about in a moment, they are not.
They are not. But the whites, Airén is also important, Macabeo,
Yeah.
Malvasia, Chardonnay,
And your favourite?
and my favorite, Muscat.
Don't give it a French name. Muscatel. Muscat.
Muscat sounds more intelligent.
Muscat is also a lovely city
Intelligent.
of Oman, where I went with my parents when I was 6 years old.
Oh, really?
Beautiful city. Nothing to do with the grape.
Where is that?
Oman.
Oman is
So you have Saudi Arabia,
yeah.
Yemen, not a good time to go there. Hashtag never. Although I do want to go. And then above that you have Oman.
Oh,
We went there when I was a little kid. It's a land of,
did you go?
yeah, it's great. Fortresses, like these, they're called wadis, which are these little oases in the desert. It's beautiful.
Oh.
Beautiful.
well,
And like really well traveled.
when we talk about Jumilla, we are talking about one of the big wine regions. We are talking about 48 million liters of wine.
It's a
more or
productive
less.
one.
It's a very productive one, and it's a very international wine region. 65% of Jumilla's production goes abroad.
Which blows my mind every time.
65.
It's insane.
And it's not that
insane.
famous.
No one knows about it. But I think they sell, and maybe our Casa Rojo people can tell us, I think they sell a lot to the United States of America. Because I went, not with you, I was with a friend of mine. I went to a Salón de Vinos de Jumilla like a year ago. And we were talking with another bodega people there. And I was saying like, oh, where can I find, it's hard to find your wines in Madrid. And they were like, yeah, we sell way more to America. My dad, Rotate the mic a little in Luke's direction. I can't hear him too well.
Okay.
Probably for the best. That's a rare time when you can't hear me.
But I think there are a big.
Come on, use your words.
I would like to say there is a big thing to do on the side of the Jumilla DO to promote the name Jumilla better.
Well,
it's not easy to pronounce. Jumilla.
I think this was all made very clear when we went to visit your family last year. No, 2 years
2 years ago, yeah.
And we were in Murcia city, and we went to this bar. You were like, oh, this is this amazing bar. They're famous for Russian salad, or what do you call the tapa con el...
Yeah, that's the matrimonio.
All this kind of stuff. That's amazing. And Roque was like, hola chicos, para beber, what do you want to drink? And Roque was like, pues no sé, algo de aquí, ¿no? Un blanco, un tinto de Jumilla, which is next to Murcia, in Murcia region. And the guy was like, well, we have Rioja, Ribera and Rueda. And we were like, are you kidding me?
On Alvarinho.
Yeah, even in Murcia, in a really famous little bar, we couldn't find local wines.
Yes, we were in one of these bars of La Plaza de las Flores, which is
That's his other direction.
Is one of the most emblematic as well, again, places to have the aperitivo in Murcia. And yes.
Funny comment. Matthias says.
And they didn't have Jumilla wine in that bar, so we were very disappointed.
So I left a very negative review on TripAdvisor, and they're closed now. Matthias says Jumilla. Now, come on, guys. Gary from Idaho is saying Jamilo. Yeah. So why are these guys not in Jumilla? What's going on then?
You explain to us.
No, but why do they not? Why not Minami?
Well, there is.
Do you think they want to leave? They're not happy with Jumilla. They want to be different.
More I think it's not. It's not. They don't like to be part of the Jumilla. I think it's more another. They want to be involved in a big important project. Is to create Murcia wine,
which I think is really a very noble project because, as you said, most of Jumilla is
not from Murcia. Yeah,
because we have had. Your dad had some very suspect bottles of Campo de Cartagena wine.
Yeah.
So there is a Vino de la Tierra there, although it's almost impossible to find. And Jumilla is this big, all-dominating force. But it is a fact that, it doesn't really belong to Murcia. So if you are because Buyas is 100% Murcia, I think.
Yeah.
And Yecla is 100%?
Yes, as well. Oh, maybe Yecla has something a little bit in
Jumilla, which is the most famous, is not majority in Murcia, even though the town Jumilla is the name is. So it's like saying, well, for example, Rioja. Bear with me. Most of Rioja is in Rioja.
Yeah.
It's a little bit at the top called Alavesa, Rioja Alavesa.
Belongs to Álava. Yeah.
Imagine the other way around. Imagine that whole region of Rioja was called Álava.
Yeah, exactly.
And all the people in Rioja, are you taking the piss?
Yeah.
So I can understand why maybe the DOs. Yeah. So by the way, if you're at home and you don't know what a DO is, it's the regulatory body that gives you these regions. So France, Champagne, Bordeaux, we have.
And I understand that if they want to create these Murcia wines, this Murcia wine region, they need the support of these important and strong companies as Casa Rojo to belong to this project.
And like Ben Green said initially that Casa Rojo and Juan Gil could mix it with the best of the world. I agree. Yeah. But when I see Juan Gil, I see old school Jumilla.
Yeah.
And they're amazing. They're very good. They're like Jumilla de toda la vida.
Yeah.
Whereas Casa Rojo, I think, is more like looking out,
And also they have played in different, Juan Gil as well, but maybe less with its name, with the brand Juan Gil.
It's more like go out and do things. Yeah. Casa Rojo is like we're going to find little things that we love.
Yeah.
By the way, I always forget to ask this. If you have any questions for us, because like I say, I remembered my cable this time, so the battery is not going to die. If you have any questions that you'd like us to answer, feel free to write them in the chat, and we'll get to those as well. So yeah, I think the whole idea. I mean, maybe this is we don't want to keep you all night, but maybe this is a debate for another time. Maybe the whole debate of denominación de origen versus vino de la tierra de Castilla y León, for example, versus vino de mesa. There's always different gradations. I think maybe another time we'll talk about that. But it is important to realize that just because a wine has a label that says I'm from this region, it doesn't necessarily tell you everything.
Yeah. Well, I think this one is an excellent way to introduce to the Jumilla wine region, even if it's not from there officially. And although it's not a 100% Monastrell, but not all the Jumilla
it
good
definitely
ones.
has the backbone of Monastrell.
Yeah, it has a high percentage of Monastrell, of course. And well, this is what you can get. These much better wines, of course, much more expensive. But I mean, Jumilla is a good region to explore.
It's one of my favorite because you're gonna get like.
Actually, in our shop we have a large selection of Jumilla wines. We love it. It's a wine region that we respect a lot because a lot of wine, good wines comes from
They
there.
tend to be sort of that Gary Fimedo, kind of big, sexy, pleasing, easy to drink styles.
Yeah.
We could say.
And also, for example, from the selection of wines they do. By the way, you can buy them all in our shop.
Everything available at Madrid down.
In the shop and also in the online shop. And you should try, I mean, get lost in Jumilla. You will not be disappointed.
It sounds like a weird insult. Get lost in Jumilla. Well, I don't see any questions coming in. So maybe we should conclude.
They are already drunk, all of them.
They're all asleep probably. We should probably conclude our September box. So we've done quite a variety. Shall we do a very quick recorrido of the wines in the next box?
Yes, please.
So, shall I show them, or do I just pass you this? No, show them. What should we start with? We start with the whites.
Let's start. We have a Jumilla wine. It's a rosé from Juan Gil. They only do it once every 2 years.
Why you don't put them there? They can't see anything.
sorry.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, speaking of Juan Gil, we have their rare
Here we are.
Rosado.
In September box, we have as well
First one, I think. With October.
La Mateo. It's a wine from Rioja, made with the rare Tempranillo Blanco.
Only discovered in 1988.
This wine is amazing. We are going to have Gewürztraminer.
Say it more angrily.
Gewürztraminer! From Somontano,
Yes.
where the decent
Where the only good ones come from.
Gewürztraminers from Spain come from. We have a beautiful old wine from Cigales. We are going to explore that region.
The
50 veranos. What a romantic label. I love it.
the unfortunately less famous neighbor to Ribera del Duero.
Yes, they are super close to Ribera del Duero, and unfortunately not that popular as the big brother. La Osa, a wine from Vino de la Tierra from Castilla.
Yeah, I think it's like Albacete, right?
Yeah, Tierra de Castilla. It's called.
The only
and
good
this
thing from Albacete is the wine.
A 100% Syrah. We are going to explore this beautiful
I would
grape.
say one of the best price to quality reds in the shop.
And
then
that's not the only
special thing.
special grape we are going to have in the
Can I
October.
just say, for the Dia de San Roque, his Saint Day, we drank this.
Basus. Pinot Noir. Probably one of the best Pinot Noirs of
I
Spain.
would say the best in Spain.
My sister Eva, you will love this. You will love Pinot Noir.
So if you haven't got this box, buy the box.
Yes, if you buy the box, you will get a bigger discount over
Astonishing.
the price, the shop price.
I think you save €100.
If you buy them in the shop, it's around €100.
It's about 97.50.
But the box is 75, and the shipping is free.
Nina says, wow, guys, great selection, what fun. It is indeed. Ben Green, exciting. It is indeed. Ava, can't wait. It is indeed.
Look, Darakat.
Rocky Madrid. See you in October.
In October, the 7th? The 7th.
7th of October.
7th? Is the 7th?
7th.
It's Wednesday? 7th. I'll see you with the first wine, La Mateo.
Salud.
Put it on the fridge. Okay. Luke the Rocket. Bye.
See you later.